Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ebony. I am a human design expert, reader, and coach, and today we're going to be talking about cultivating your biggest talent. Okay, and this is going to be a little bit of a, well, never mind. We're just gonna get into it. I wanted to say something. If you are interested in working with me, whether through a course or a program or getting a reading, all that information will be in the description box. Also, wait till the end. Well, if you're going to watch the video, watch till the end, because I am going to give an example of how this looks in my actual life, because I know some of this stuff can seem a little bit esoteric and kind of up in the clouds, but at the end of the video I am going to be giving an example from my personal chart. So if you're interested, wait to the end for that. And I think that's it. Okay, so we're going to be diving into, like I mentioned, cultivating your greatest talent. However, the interesting thing about your greatest talent is that the thing about your greatest talent is that it is intrinsically connected to your greatest pain. Your greatest wound is on the other side of it is your greatest talent. So this is a very painful part of the process of human design. When I talk about that a little bit on my TikTok, for those of you who follow me there, you've seen that video that I made. But this is literally the part of your development that you weren't technically a part of. Like the pain, this wound in particular was done to you. Okay, so let me back up a little bit, because I'm getting kind of ahead of myself. What we're talking about here is gene keys, right? So gene keys is a system that was created by a man who studied under Ra, the man who created human design, and his system dives into the gates. It focuses very heavily on the gates, and instead of calling them gates in gene keys, they're called genes, okay? But the correlation between these two is we're talking about the unconscious Mars in human design, and in gene keys it is called the core. Okay. So, and I have notes. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have notes. So what we're talking about here is your sacred wound. So this is something that was imprinted upon you, that was imprinted in your DNA, in your development before you were even conscious. Like you had no part in this thing happening to you, in this pain being imprinted on you. It was passed down ancestrally through your lineage, and it happened to rest on you. That's just the way it is. So when you are working through this wound, when you're working through this shadow, this very painful thing, there's a lot of a feeling of unfairness, right? I feel this pain, I feel this wound, and I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to deserve this. I didn't do anything to anyone to make this happen. I didn't ask for this. I wasn't even a part of the situation that caused this to happen. Yet I am now saddled with being the person who has to heal this pain, being the person who has to heal this specific wound so that I can, reach my highest stages of development and reach the material success that I know that I am worthy of, and that I know I'm capable of, and that I desire. Because another thing about this particular gift is that the shadow of this is the biggest block towards your material success. So like if you've been trying to heal your relationship with money or make more money or whatever, and you're just like, I keep trying and nothing is working. I keep trying and everything I do, nothing seems to work. I would bet money that the issue that you can't seem to figure out is hidden in the shadow of this gate. And like I said, I'm going to give a personal example in a little bit. So we have this wound that we didn't do anything to deserve. We weren't even conscious. We were not even we weren't conscious. We didn't have our conscious awareness. We weren't even born yet. And we were saddled with this weight, this wound that we now have to heal. So there's an element of unfairness, and there's a very deep element of forgiveness that we need to have when we're working with this wound in particular, because we didn't do anything to deserve it, but we just have it, right? So it's also a matter of pulling ourselves up out of this victim mentality. Because when something happens to you that you feel like you didn't deserve, you have this tendency to go into, oh, why me? Oh, God. Into, oh, why me? Why did this happen to me? Oh, this is like, we'll fall into this victim mentality. And part of healing this wound, of embracing the light of this gate, is pulling yourself out of that. Coming to the space of, it's like, okay, this happened. This hurt me. I didn't do anything to deserve this, but now it's my responsibility to heal so that I can continue doing whatever the fuck that I want to do. Like, we gotta get that, let's get it together so we can, so we can continue to do the things, right? So that's kind of where you want to be. So feel the unfairness, feel the pain, and then put your big boy, big girl panties on and let's get this shit done. Essentially, that's how I see it. That's how I personally did this work. I was like, okay, bitch, come on. Like, stop crying. Okay, it's fine. Now what are we going to do? Let's get to work, right? So that's just how I see it. You don't have to, but that's just that's my brain. Okay. So, another thing about this gate, this gene gate, whatever you want to call it, technically gene, is that you can't consciously, like intellectually, work through it. Like, this is, if you know anything about gene keys, and I'll talk more about gene keys in another video, it's at this point where it's the end of your emotional kind of journey, and it's now beginning your more material journey. So we're coming out of this emotional time, which correlates to your limbic system. And now we're moving into this area of prosperity, into this area of material success. So it's where your physical and your emotional awareness blend. This does not include your mind. This does not include your cortex, like your conscious, intellectual thinking mind has nothing to do with this. It wasn't even formed when this initial thing happened. So it has no idea how to deal with it. So when we're working with this particular wound, this particular gift, we have to come from the bottom up, right? So we're working in the body. We're working with our subconscious. We're working with, our reptilian kind of brain area somatically. We're working somatically and with our limbic system, which is our emotions. So that is where the bulk, I would say all really, where the work and the healing for this wound is going to happen. It's going to be in the body. It's going to be working, releasing energy, because trauma is stored in the body. It's not stored in the mind. Okay? We experience it in the mind, but it's stored in the body. So when you're doing this work, when you are working through the shadow, when you're working through this wound, it has to start here. It has to start here. And you can't see me, but I'm saying here. Not here, but like, I'm sorry. This is serious. It's serious. Okay, no, I said that. Okay. This is something you have to actually physically feel in your body. And I promise we're going to actually get to what it is. I feel like I've been talking forever. I don't know what it is. Okay. So what are we talking about here, right? So we've talked about what the sacred wound is. We've talked about the core wound. We've talked about how to work with it, right? So we have all that information. Now, what is it? So when we're talking about this, we're talking about your unconscious Mars gate. So look at your human design chart. What is your unconscious Mars gate? Okay? That is the gate that we're working with here. I feel like I should have said that in the beginning. Anyway, that is what we're working with here, is your unconscious Mars gate. You're working with the energy of that gate in particular. So whatever that gate is for you, that is the thing that you need to heal. That is the thing that you need to work through in order to reach these higher stages of material success and prosperity. These are the things that working through that, the areas of that gate, is what is going to cultivate your biggest talent. Because when you heal this wound, when you heal this sacred wound, this thing that you've been carrying around since before you even existed, you become uniquely qualified to not only understand it in yourself and in other people, but also to help other people heal and work through it. So you become the wounded healer. Because you've gone through this sometimes very painful journey with this energy, you become the person who knows it inside and out. You know how to see it in other people. You know how to see it in yourself. You know how to guide other people through it. That becomes your greatest talent because you literally went through that process with yourself, starting from the time that you came into this world. So that is your biggest talent. That is your biggest contribution to the world and to the collective. And that is your biggest challenge. Okay? So, said I was going to give a personal example, and I am. So, my unconscious Mars is in gate 7. Gate 7 is the gate of leadership. Now, the thing about this particular gate is that it is in my G center. So, it is a part of my identity. Okay? The thing about the gate of leadership is that there is a difference between being influential and being a leader. Being influential is having the ability to influence people to do things, right? You know, you have influencers and things like that. Having the potential for leadership is being someone, or having the potential to be someone that other people want to follow, right? So I'm not necessarily the person who will say something that will influence someone to do something in particular or try something. But what I have found is that the more I step into being the leader, which we're going to talk about a little bit more, I find that people are drawn to me and they want to follow me. They want to listen to what I'm saying and they want to work with me to kind of follow in my footsteps. So to me, that is the difference between being influential and being a leader. So the shadow of this gate is division. Division from your sense of guidance, division from your sense of leadership, division from your sense of power, but also division from people and information. So the way that I experienced this is that I never thought that people would listen to me. Like, I always had this sense of, I feel like I have something to say. I feel like I have this potential to guide people, to help people, to lead them in a direction that's going to be very good for them. But I never felt like they're not going to listen to me. No one wants to listen to what I have to say, right? And when I got to the point where I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to step up. I'm going to do the thing. I was leading from a place of shadow. So I was leading because I wanted to make the money. So I became a life coach. That was like, you know, the online business space was booming. I was like, ooh, that's what I want to do. That's how I'm going to make money. I got certified to be a life coach. And I was leading, but I was leading out of, I need to do this to get money. Nothing wrong with getting money, but that was my primary motivator. First red flag, right? And then I was not embodying the information. So I did the certification. I knew all the information. I did, my coaching sessions, all that. I completed it. Certified life coach, great. Certified life coach, great. But I had not integrated the information. I had not embodied the information. And the thing about Gate 7, it's leading by example. It's not leading with information. It is becoming the example that you want other people to follow. right? So I was trying to lead and be this guide for other people, but I hadn't actually done the work. I knew the information. I knew what I was talking about. Everything was correct. But people were not being drawn to me because I had not embodied it. I was not leading by example. I was leading with information, and I was leading out of my shadow. So after I had been in business for like a year and a half, nothing was happening. I had no clients whatsoever. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is going on? And I had to really get honest with myself that I didn't actually believe that people were going to follow me. So like, what's the point in doing the work if no one's going to listen to me anyway? And then I had to get honest with that. If I saw me, talking about whatever I was talking about, would I actually want to follow me? No. Because even though the information was good, even though the information was right, there was no weight behind it. There was no experience behind it. There was nothing rooting what I was saying into the ground, because it was all just information that I had regurgitated. So I had to really dig deep and go through a lot of different hours of, peeling back these layers, peeling back the conditioning of not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling like I can actually lead people, not feeling like the shit that I'm talking about actually works. I'm just saying it to make a buck. And do the work, like really, really embody the things that I was saying. And it was kind of around this time when I started getting into like healing my sexuality and human design. And I was like, oh, now I get it. So when I realized that, and human design gave me an amazing blueprint to actually do the inner work, because at first I didn't know the fuck how to do that. I started to do it. I started to embody the information. I started to actually create my own practices that helped me integrate what I was learning. I got out of my head and into my body. And slowly but surely, I started to realize that I knew the information, but it's like it wasn't coming from here anymore. Like I would turn on my camera to make a video, and I would start talking from here, and by the end of the video I was complete, like all the information had worked its way up my body, and I was just speaking on autopilot. Like it was coming out in a way because I had done the work. I really hope this is making sense. And after a while, after doing the work, I realized that I wasn't leading and I wasn't doing the things that I was doing to make money anymore. I was doing it because I saw the change in myself, and I wanted that for other people. I stepped out of my shadow. I stepped out of the division, and I came into guidance, which is the gift of Gate 7, guidance. And then from guidance, I moved into the city of the gate, which is virtue. I became a virtuous person because I was leading by example, and I was leading out of service. Like everything that I do, my free programs, my YouTube videos, my paid programs, all of that is to be of service. Do I make money from it? Yeah, I do. But it's all created out of an energy of wanting to be of service rather than the energy of I need to do this to make money. Which is why I do so many things for free, because I get it now. And the thing is, I'm doing way more things for free than I was before. And the increase that I have seen in my financial situation since I started leading in this way has been night and day. Like, this is what I do. I don't have a job. I don't do the 9-to-5 thing. This sustains me. My business, my YouTube channel, this sustains me. This is my full-time thing now, and it wasn't before. And I fully attribute that to doing this, like this work specifically on like my core wound. And understanding the importance of embodying before I come out and try to tell people what to do. But that's for me specifically. Not everyone is going to have gate 7 for their unconscious Mars. But what I would love for you to do is look at your human design chart. Look at your human design chart. What is your unconscious Mars? And if you guys want, I can make a video. Well, not one video, because that would be a very long video, of all the different gates and the shadows and the gifts and the cities of those gates, and give an explanation for that, so that you can start to do this. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in that, because I can totally do that. And keep in mind that if you're going to do this work, be very gentle, be very compassionate with yourself, because this is deep shit. Okay, this is deep shit. Like, it's not a game, you know? But yes, look at your human design chart. Look at your unconscious Mars. Look at the shadow, the gift, and the city of it. And if you want videos on those, let me know and I will do that. And yes, I hope this was helpful. I know it was very long. It's like a 20-minute video. Also, let me know if you have any questions, because I feel like I was like all over the place, but I feel like I'm always kind of like that. So yes, but I will see you in the next one. If you feel called to work with me, all the information will be in the description box, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.